Welcome to our Hong Kong Brief Show. I am your host, Jenny. Today, we're diving into some significant updates from Hong Kong and beyond. First up, for former pro-democracy lawmakers Claudia Mo, Jeremy Tam, Kwok Ka-ki, and Gary Fan have been released after serving over 4 years in prison for their involvement in the landmark national security trial. Their release marks a pivotal moment in Hong Kong's ongoing political landscape, highlighting the intense crackdown on dissent following the 2019 protests. Next, we turn to the financial scene. Ant Group, the giant fintech company once derailed by regulators, is making a bold move. They've acquired a majority stake in Bright Smart Securities, signaling a strategic comeback into China's securities market. This move is part of their broader effort to re-engage with China's financial markets and explore new growth opportunities after years of regulatory hurdles. Finally, in law enforcement news, Hong Kong police are planning to deploy drones later this year to patrol urban areas, especially around old tenement buildings. These drones will help monitor suspicious activity and improve security, marking a new chapter in the city's efforts to modernize and enhance public safety. Please continue to watch for more detailed insights and updates. CNN reports that the first group of Hong Kong Democrats, including notable figures like Claudia Mo, Kwok Ka-ki, Jeremy Tam, and Gary Fan, have been released after enduring over 4 years of imprisonment under the Beijing-imposed national security law. These activists, once prominent members of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement, were arrested in connection with their participation in an unofficial primary election in 2020, which aimed to select candidates for legislative elections. Their release marks a significant moment amidst ongoing tensions between Hong Kong's pro-democracy advocates and the Chinese government, which has justified the harsh crackdown as necessary for stability. Despite international criticism, the authorities maintain that the trial was fair, and the law was essential to safeguard the city's order, even as the activists' families express relief and hope for reconciliation. The Toronto Star highlights the emotional toll of the political crackdown, emphasizing the separation and hardship faced by the activists and their families. The 4 freed lawmakers, who had been detained since their arrest in 2021, were among 47 individuals convicted for their roles in what authorities described as attempts to paralyze Hong Kong's government and induce a constitutional crisis. During the trial, prosecutors accused them of plotting to use legislative power to disrupt governance, while judges argued their plans threatened the city's stability. The case underscored how the Chinese and Hong Kong governments have systematically dismantled the pro-democracy movement, with many activists receiving lengthy sentences, including Benny Tai's 10-year term and Joshua Wong's nearly 5 years. Critics argue these measures have dramatically eroded civil liberties, with Beijing claiming the national security law is vital for maintaining order. The Globe and Mail echoes these sentiments, illustrating how the political landscape in Hong Kong has shifted dramatically since the protests of 2019. The release of the activists symbolizes a broader crackdown on dissent, where only a handful of the original defendants faced acquittal, and most received harsh sentences. The primary election, which drew over 600,000 voters, was seen by authorities as a threat to the government's authority, leading to its postponement and the subsequent arrests. The international community continues to scrutinize these developments, with many viewing them as a suppression of democratic rights under the guise of national security. Both Beijing and Hong Kong officials defend the law as necessary for stability, despite widespread criticism, underscoring the ongoing struggle between authoritarian control and democratic aspirations in the city. Reuters Breaking Views reports that Ant Group, Jack Ma's $80 billion fintech powerhouse, is making a significant move into the securities brokerage industry with a modest $362 million acquisition of a nearly 51% stake in Bright Smart Securities and Commodities in Hong Kong. This deal, orchestrated under the leadership of new CEO Cyril Han, signals a strategic pivot from Ant's previous restrictions and a potential revival of its expansion ambitions after being hamstrung by regulatory crackdowns 5 years ago. The move marks Ant's first entry into the brokerage sector, aiming to leverage its popular super app Alipay to modernize Bright Smart's platform and attract a younger audience, amid a renewed investor interest in Chinese equities. While the immediate goal appears to be dipping toes into Hong Kong's vibrant securities market, the real prize lies in accessing China's massive $1.7 trillion brokerage industry, contingent upon acquiring the necessary Chinese licenses. The deal also hints at broader ambitions, possibly paving the way for a backdoor listing and signaling a tentative return to growth for a company that once faced a sharp decline in revenue and a shift away from aggressive expansion, transforming into a connector of financial services rather than a traditional bank. Bright Smart stock has surged 70% above Ant's purchase price, reflecting investor optimism that this move could herald a new chapter for Ant's future, even if it's just the beginning of a long, uncertain journey. South China Morning Post reports that later this year, Hong Kong police will deploy drones to patrol urban areas, especially in districts like Yau Tsim Mong and Sham Shui Pa, known for their aging tenement buildings. These drone patrols aim to combat burglaries, particularly targeting scaffolding-covered buildings under renovation, which are vulnerable to theft. The drones will follow pre-planned routes to avoid residential zones, equipped with flashing lights and reflective symbols for identification, and will monitor for suspicious activities such as climbing scaffolding. Police officers will review drone footage to distinguish between authorized repair works and potential criminal activity, maintaining strict adherence to privacy laws. Already, drones have been used in rural anti-burglary efforts and at large events for crowd and traffic control, contributing to a notable decrease in burglaries last year, with a detection rate of 38%, the second highest since 1977. The South China Morning Post also highlights that Hong Kong's appeal to overseas scholars has grown amid U.S.-China tensions. CUHK President Dennis Lo Yukming notes that geopolitical conflicts have prompted some international academics and scientists to consider relocating to Hong Kong, attracted by its low tax regime and proximity to the Greater Bay Area, a hub for innovation and technology development. Data from the University Grants Committee reveals that mainland Chinese academics now comprise 41% of staff at Hong Kong's public universities, the highest proportion ever, with CUHK hiring over 150 academics from diverse regions since 2023. Low emphasizes that CUHK hires based on merit, regardless of origin, and that the university's rising rankings reflect successful recruitment strategies. Meanwhile, the Secretary for Education highlights that tensions between Beijing and Washington are also influencing mainland students' choices, with fewer opting for U.S. universities, as evidenced by a record low of 67 students studying in America last year. A Hong Kong woman was recently scammed out of nearly 2 million Hong Kong dollars after being duped by a fraudster posing as a victim offering to recover her 5,000 Hong Kong dollars lost in an online shopping scam. The scammer claimed to have a team capable of retrieving lost funds and persuaded her to pay a deposit, leading her to transfer money 13 times over a week. When she realized she had been duped, she reported the case to police. Authorities warn that recovery scams are on the rise, often targeting victims already exploited by fraudsters, and caution the public against trusting online schemes promising to recover lost money. Last year, online shopping scams alone resulted in 356 million Hong Kong dollars in losses, with over 11,500 cases reported, representing a sharp increase in both incidents and financial damage. Police encourage vigilance, urging victims to verify the credibility of any organization claiming to recover stolen funds and to use official tools like the Scammeter to identify fraudulent websites and contacts. South China Morning Post vividly recounts the momentous release of 4 prominent Hong Kong activists, Gary Fan, Kwok Ka-ki, Jeremy Tam, and Claudia Mo, who emerged from prison after serving over 4 years for their involvement in the 2020 unofficial primary election. These figures, once pillars of Hong Kong's pro-democracy movement, symbolize the resilience and ongoing struggle against the sweeping tide of Beijing's national security law. Their release, amid tight security and media silence, marks a significant milestone in the aftermath of the city's largest and most protracted security trial, which saw 47 activists convicted on charges of conspiracy to subvert state power. The trial's outcome and subsequent sentences, notably Benny Tai's 10-year term, underscore the crackdown on dissent, illustrating how the authorities have effectively silenced opposition voices, transforming Hong Kong's once vibrant democratic landscape into a tightly controlled environment where even participation in an unofficial primary could lead to decades behind bars. The Toronto Star further emphasizes the emotional toll of this political repression, highlighting the pain inflicted on the activists and their families through years of separation. The 2021 arrests of 47 activists, including notable figures like Benny Tai and Joshua Wong, were rooted in their efforts to mobilize voters and challenge the government's authority through an unofficial primary election, which drew an astonishing 610,000 participants. The judge's verdict condemned their plans as attempts to undermine the government and precipitate a constitutional crisis, effectively ending Hong Kong's fragile democratic experiment. Despite the legal victories and some sentences being reduced through guilty pleas, the overarching narrative remains one of suppression, an erosion of civil liberties promised during the 1997 handover, highlighted by international criticism and Beijing's insistence that the national security law is essential for stability. Meanwhile, the South China Morning Post also draws a stark contrast by listing the high-profile celebrities currently incarcerated in the United States, revealing how fame can sometimes be overshadowed by criminal conduct. From R. Kelly's conviction for child pornography to Harvey Weinstein's sexual assault cases that sparked the Me Too movement, these stories expose the fallibility of even the most glamorous figures. Diddy's ongoing trial for sex trafficking and racketeering, Danny Masterson's 30-year sentence for rape, and Elizabeth Holmes's 11-year conviction for investor fraud all serve as cautionary tales of how power and influence can be corrupted, leading to dramatic falls from grace. The list underscores a universal truth: no matter one's status or wealth, justice can catch up, and the pursuit of accountability remains a powerful force across borders and industries. South China Morning Post highlights the inspiring journey of Candice Tsiang Hiu Lam, a 15-year-old from Hong Kong who is breaking barriers in basketball. Selected for the prestigious Zhou Tsai basketball scholarship, she will travel to the United States to attend the Village School in Houston, aiming to refine her skills and broaden her horizons. Tsiang's story is a testament to resilience and ambition. Once shy, she credits basketball with transforming her into a confident, vocal player who reads the game with maturity beyond her years. Despite her modest height of 1.67 meters, her ability to analyze gameplay and her determination set her apart, making her a standout among 171 applicants from across China. Her coach and vice principal, Dora Yum, praises her for her tenacity and potential to inspire others, emphasizing that her success could pave the way for more Hong Kong athletes to pursue similar opportunities, balancing academic excellence with athletic dreams. The South China Morning Post also reports on the resilience of the Chinese University of Hong Kong, CUHK, amid government funding cuts, which threaten its innovative pursuits and growth plans. Despite a 2.8 billion Hong Kong dollars reduction in funding over 3 years and the need to repay 4 billion Hong Kong dollars, CUHK's president, Professor Dennis Lo Yuk Ming, remains committed to maintaining the university's top-tier research, talent acquisition, and student experiences. He envisions establishing a postgraduate college to support advanced students, seeking hundreds of millions of Hong Kong dollars in donations, with hopes to realize this within 5 years. Lo underscores the importance of merit-based admissions, even as the university navigates an increasing influx of mainland Chinese students, now comprising 75% of first-year undergraduates. The university is also working toward re-establishing a student union, emphasizing the need for lawful and transparent student representation, amid ongoing discussions about the role of student publications and campus governance. Despite financial and political challenges, CUHK aims to uphold its academic integrity and internationalization efforts, striving to remain a leading hub of innovation and education. SCMP opinion highlights concerns over Hong Kong's expanded foreign labor scheme, which was introduced to address a persistent manpower shortage exacerbated by immigration and economic shifts. While the scheme aims to fill jobs in sectors like catering, with over 54,200 imported workers, including waiters, chefs, and dishwashers, there are troubling reports suggesting that some local employees have been unfairly dismissed to make way for imported staff. The Eating Establishment Employees General Union reports over 200 locals losing jobs in restaurants, replaced by cheaper or short-term imported workers, raising fears of exploitation and job insecurity. Despite safeguards like mandatory recruitment drives and wage protections, non-compliance and abuse, such as reports of imported construction workers facing wage theft and strikes, undermine the scheme's fairness. Authorities have called for vigilance and investigations, emphasizing the need for a comprehensive review to ensure that the scheme benefits the economy without sacrificing workers' rights or local employment stability. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
Got a book so big and bright, open it and take a flight. Learn about the stars and see everything is here for me. Flip the pages one by one, knowledge under the sun. From dinosaurs to galaxies, a world of endless mysteries. Encyclopedia, yay! Facts and fun all day. From A to Z, let's see. Curious minds run free. Jump into the pages deep. Secrets that you want to keep. Time will fly and you will find magic lies in every line. Animals and history, science full of mystery. Gotta read and gotta know. Watch our minds all start to grow. Encyclopedia, yay! Facts and fun all day. From A to Z, let's see. Curious minds run free, yeah. Jump into the pages deep. Secrets that you want to keep. Time will fly and you will find magic lies story, science full of mystery.